Hello, everyone. It's Warriors NRL Fanatics. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday afternoon for NRL team list reaction to the round 17 team list for the One Years Warriors clash against the Brisbane Broncos, and of course predictions and a preview for State of Origin for Game 2, and my NRL tips for the rest of the round of footy coming up. And also, it's a Q&A, so if you got any questions you want to pop into the live chat, feel free to do so in the YouTube live comments section down below. But guys, before getting into it, if you are a new viewer, please also don't forget to give this live stream a like. Make sure you click that thumbs up button on the live stream. And also don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's absolutely free and it's much appreciated. It all shows your support for all of the content that I do. And yeah, it really does mean a lot to me, and gets the word out about all the content, and also helps the algorithm as well. So like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also, guys, go and check out all and give the Warriors content creators a follow and subscribe as well. Shout out to all the Warriors content creators who are, myself included, and everyone else, having a bit of a tough weekend because of the result, but it's about recovering from that now, and regrouping. And well, we want to see a bounce back from the boys this weekend against the Broncos at home. So yeah, hello to Tahi, bro. Good to see you in the chat. Saying kia ora, bro. Good to see you in the chat, Tahi, bro. So yeah, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Do all the following, guys. It really helps the channel and gets the word about the content. It's absolutely free as well. Subscribing to the channel is just one simple click of the button, and yeah, just make sure you do subscribe if you are a new viewer and you're coming into these live streams or watching these videos back on replay. And hello to Mel in the chat. Good evening, Mel. Hello, Mel. Hope you're doing well. She said. Mel says, kia ora, Mel. Hope you're doing well yourself. But yeah, look, obviously with that game last week, it's time to move on, rest, recover. Obviously it's a tough result to take as a Warriors fan. I didn't do a review of the game, just to note, because I decided not to do a review for that game. I thought what was best is to move on and get ready for this week's game, because obviously it was a tough result to take, and we want to let go of that game and move on to this week's game, which we will do so. But Jose in the chat there, hello to Jose, good to see you, bro, in the chat. This is last Sunday was very tough. I think I should have cheered to him on my blanket and under the couch. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough going to the game, watching it live. Not gonna lie, it was very difficult to sit through that game, and especially given the fact that we had so much support for the boys. But hey, look, that was last week. We're moving on now. We're on to this week. It is in the past. Yes, it's still lingering in the minds of fans, but we want to move on to this week's games, and we want to see a bit of a response. And we probably will see a response this week against the Broncos at home. But hello to Rich in the chat. Good to see you, Rich. Hope you're doing well yourself, bro. Good to see you in the chat, guys. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Do all the following, guys. It really shows your support for the content. As I said earlier, the stream is a team list reaction stream, and I'll go through my NRL tips for this week's round of footy, as well as a State of Origin to preview and predictions as well. And you're more than welcome to send through your comments or questions in the live chat, and I will definitely get to them, because this is also a Q&A stream as well. But Jose is saying here, onwards and upwards, hopefully upwards. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can recover from last week, and we'll see a response, and the players playing for a bit of pride in New Jersey this week, back at home in a sold out Go Media at Mount Smart Stadium, and hopefully those fans still turn up. I really do hope they still turn up and support the boys this week, and give them all the support they need, because after a rough week that was, it's about staying loyal to the team, and getting behind them as much as we can, because although we've been pretty critical as fans over the last couple of days around some of the selections and the team, and and all that sort of stuff, we've got to stay loyal to the team. But as I say, always win, lose, or draw, Warriors forever, Warriors for life, and that never changes. So we ride that roller coaster ride that is being a Warriors fan. And yes, it's a difficult one, but, we're always going to be supporting the team, well, every week, as we usually do, every season. And hello to Wimmer. Hello to Wimmer. It's taken a while to forget that game, but keep moving forward. Yeah, hello to Wimmer. Hope you're doing well in the chat. Good to see you in the chat. I think I've seen you in the chat watching my shows before, so it's good to see it. Always good to see a new viewer to the channel, but I'm sure you probably have been watching my content, but it's good to see you in the chat there. And Tahi Bro says, pump up the likes. Absolutely, pump up the likes, everyone. Like the live stream. Click that thumbs up button, guys. It doesn't cost anything. Also, subscribing doesn't cost anything at all. It's absolutely free. So any new viewer watching the content, it is much appreciated if you subscribe to the channel, and also go and support all the fellow Warriors content creators. That is the thing I would like to put out as well. Everyone deserves all the support nonetheless. But guys, let's get into the team list. The team list has been named by Andrew Webby. So a bit of injury news as well just come out today in regards to Shaun Johnson. Halfback Shaun Johnson's been sidelined for 4 weeks with a recurring Achilles tendon injury. Andrew Webster announced this at a media session today, ahead of the team list, which was named this evening at 6 o'clock New Zealand time. And he is saying here that Shaun is going to be out for at least 4 weeks. And Shaun needs to rehabilitate, but he hasn't come back the way he wanted. And we need to do so by giving him at least 4 weeks. We're going to make sure that we get good signs that he can train with the team, but he's not physically there at the moment. So, look, you can tell Shaun's come back and he's not quite 100% fit, right? He's not fit. And, we can all blame Shaun all we want, but look, it's not all his fault, And yes, he's not playing well this season, no doubt about it, but surely the injury is definitely playing a part in his form this season as a whole. So, look, I know there's some people, with some nasty comments, which I don't necessarily agree with. People should be making nasty comments against Shaun. And I know we played well without him. We've won games without him, but I think we should actually give him, a proper comment and wish him a speedy recovery, and hope he comes back better and fitter, stronger in the next couple of weeks. But if not, then hopefully he comes back better and stronger next season. So, yeah, look, I just don't think people should be making unnecessary comments against Shaun. Yes, his form's not great. Yes, he's not been playing well this year. But I think people having a go at him and saying, good riddance and glad he's injured and that. I think that's ridiculous that people say comments like that. Look, I don't think he's been playing well, but injuries can affect the performance of a player, and it's probably affected Shaun this season. So, yeah. But look, in all positive, look, although he's out, you've got CHT, you got Tamari Martin there who can do a job in the halves, and they did a job a couple of weeks ago. So, Jose is saying, subscribe to the channel. Absolutely, yes. Cheers, Jose. Really appreciate that. And Mel was saying, all the Hayden Roche people are just saying it's cruel. People can be cruel. Yeah, absolutely, Mel. And look, you know what? I'd put up my hand and say Shaun's not been playing well this year. I'm happy to say it. I'm happy to criticize him because, if you're not playing well, you should be criticized, and that's the reality. But look, it's not all his fault, right? If anyone's saying it's all his fault that all these performances, well, the results we've had this season are always his fault, I think it's wrong. It's a team game, and you can't just blame one individual player for the results of the team. But that's just my opinion on it. But of course, I personally think that a couple of weeks ago when Harris TV and Tamari Martin were playing both well, I think that was a combination probably should have stuck with, but that's just my opinion on it. Tahi Bro says Shaun is a legend, but rest him up can take the lead until he heals. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, definitely. For sure. But of course, look, the halves aren't clicking this year. We've seen Tamari Martin, Shaun not clicking with the combination. And we saw with Harris TV and Tamari Martin, that combination a couple of weeks ago were clicking very well. So, but Yeah, just looking at the team that we've lined up with this week's game. So I'll go through it. So fullback Chance Nickel Klukstad. So CNK fullback. Dalwatini Zelezniak is back on the wing, so returns from the suspension. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, still named in the centres, right? They're still stuck solid with RTS and Pompey in the centres, Montoya on the wing, and of course halves of Chanel, Harris Tavita, 5'8", and Tamari Martin, halfback. Fanua Blake, prop, AFB, and Wade Egan hooker with Jackson Ford, prop, Murata Niokore, second row, and Mitchell Barnett with Tohu Harris at lock. Now, the bench is interesting because 14, coming into the 14 is Freddie Lussick, Dylan Walker, Jazz Tavanga, and Kirk Capewell. And our reserves of Tom Ale, Jacob Laban, Edward Kossi, Tane Tuapiki, and Moala Graham Talfa. So that is our lineup there. So that is the team that we've gone with. So we'll go back into the chat here. So Jose is saying, since we are putting our hands up, I commented somewhere, thanks for nothing, Rats and RTS. I'm sorry, okay, I was angry, my bad. Yeah, look, of course, as fans, we can get a little bit reactional over a loss. And look, I'm probably the one to do the same thing as well. I could put my hand up, but having a long think about, look, obviously the players themselves were extremely disappointed right after the game. Like, I was at the post-game members event at the stadium at Super Stadium, and a lot of those players, when they came out, were very embarrassed with their performance. Right, they were really disappointed. So it's not like the players weren't disappointed with the way they played. Right, they were frustrated, they were annoyed. But they turned up to the post-game members event and they took photos with the fans. So, look, we as fans, think that the players don't care. Obviously, look, I did question the efforts of the players throughout that game, and I feel like the effort wasn't there, to be honest. But you'd hope that this week there is a fire in the belly of the players to come out there and perform. And generally, we see with teams when they get smashed a prior week, they come out the next week and they put on a good performance. So that is what I'm actually hoping against the Broncos on Saturday. But look, obviously, I'm not going to lie, we are going to need a miracle in terms of making the finals at the end of the year. And we're going to need to win at least 6 or 7 games, I think, personally, to make the finals. But at the moment, it's not really about making the finals for me. Right now, it's about seeing some effort and improvement this week against the Broncos, which I'm hoping we will see on the field. But yeah, Mel's saying the same people were probably pushing last week's was done for the club. Yeah, that's probably fair enough. Mel is saying also I've been tough on RTS. He's just felt that he doesn't deserve to be in first grade yet. Yeah, look, I mean, RTS has come in. We all expected him to play well, including myself. Put my hands up for that one. But yeah, of course, he's not playing great, this year. But he's come in, he's playing a position where it's not his usual position, right? Centre's not where he usually plays. We've seen him at fullback. We've seen him on the wing. Look, personally, I'll stay solid to what I said a couple of weeks ago that RTS's best position is on the wing or fullback. And I don't think he should be playing centre. But he's named at centre again this week, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the centre. I'm just not a fan of him being in the centres, right? I think if you're going to name a centre, you put someone like a Moala Graham Talfa in the centres with Pompey, or you put RTS on the wing, or maybe you can move it like a Chance Nickel into the centres. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. But we saw Chance Nickel play 5'8" this season, and I mean, that was against Penrith, where he actually had a great game in that position. So, you've still got options. You can put Chance back at the 6. You can bring in Tane. I feel like Tane should get another opportunity. And he's named in the reserves this week. So, I think there should be an opportunity for Tane to come back into the side. Maybe put Tane at the fullback spot. Put Chance in the centres. But look, Webby has gone with, stuck solid, of course, and gone with Chance at fullback and Pompey and Tuivasa-Sheck in the centres. But I would have gone a completely different way with the team this week. Look, I'm not really surprised that he hasn't made too many changes. We know Webby's very loyal to some of the players that he selects. He doesn't make too hostile changes after a loss. Whether it be a loss or a win, he doesn't make too many changes. So, look, I do feel like Webby could probably make a few changes, and that's me being honest. Not hostile changes, but some changes to the side. But look, generally speaking, the bench, Mitchell Barnett, having Mitchell Barnett back is a huge in for us. Definitely a massive in. We missed Barnett last week. Our 4-pack got absolutely monstered by the Titans. Our outside backs weren't in it at all. The likes of Foran and that, they all had a field day against the Warriors as well. And you look at the outside backs of the Warriors against the Storm and last week against the Titans. Our outside backs were contained very well, and our forwards, as well. So, but look, Tahi Bro is saying last game we weren't there to play defence when games and forward momentum proves space, which provides opportunities. Yeah, absolutely. They do, Tahi Bro. I absolutely agree with that one. When you look at our defence against the Storm and our defence against the Titans, we leaked points at will and quite comfortably and easily. We just, there was like no effort, right? We didn't show the effort that we've shown throughout 2023. We were in the top 3 defensive sides in the competition. We've gone from a top 3 defensive side in the competition last year to a team that's leaked points at will throughout the season. Right, and against the Storm at home, 38 points, and then conceding 60 points, man. 60 points. You don't often see a team concede 60 points in the NRL in the competition, and that's why we haven't been great throughout the season, and that's why we're not sitting in the finals, right? We're not sitting in the top 8. We are sitting in the bottom. We're sitting 13th on the ladder. We could be bottom 4 soon. So, and I feel like this game against the Broncos is about playing for pride. Getting pride back in the jersey after that, result against the Titans, for sure. But it's quite tough because as a fan, we're sitting here, of course, we're very passionate about our team. We love this team, and we're sitting here judging from what we've seen on TV or watching it at the game, and we don't know what the players go through. Honestly, we don't. And look, of course, there's no excuses. Of course, we want to see this team perform to their potential and play well. And we saw that last year. And I hate to harp on and look back at last year as an example, but when we lost games, whether we lost games or we've been in games, we've been defending our line, we've been defending our errors, and we just haven't seen that this year. We haven't seen that at all, and it's probably a confidence thing. It's probably a confidence thing. Because the team is definitely lacking that confidence at the moment. And I honestly don't know what it is, right? I sit here and watch the game every week, try and analyse it as best that I can while watching it. And, sometimes you don't understand why the team has struggled for that consistency throughout the season. Obviously, it feels like we've gone back to bad habits like we did in previous years. So sometimes I don't understand it. It's hard to put a picture and a word into why that's the case. It's combinations, it's players on the field, maybe individually not got that confidence that they do. Of course, last year we saw Sean, have his best season in a long time. He was right up there as a Dalium contender. He almost won it. This year, of course, we brought in the likes of RTS. We brought in the likes of, the Barnetts, and Capewell as well. And you thought that bringing those players in, we'd be doing a lot better, and we aren't. We aren't doing that well at the moment. So, I think the season it's still very much alive for us. And I know I said in my I said a couple of days ago that I thought the season was done and dusted and it's over, but if you look at the ladder, mathematically we're still a chance, right? We're still in it. We're still in the chance of making the finals. But I do feel at the moment we aren't really what we're showing at the moment as a top 8 side. We ain't a finals team at the moment. So just going back on it, like, if it's all it takes is a couple wins, right? All it takes is a couple wins, you're back up there. Now, we saw that a couple of weeks ago. We thought our season was done. We went and won 3 in a row against Penrith, Dolphins. We got a team that can beat the best teams on our day. It's about clicking. It's about clicking and getting those combinations to click defensively as well. It's more important. I'm not worried about the attack and the points we're scoring. It's the fact that we're leaking points at will and pretty comfortably and tangents against the Titans, which, look, the Titans played well, don't get me wrong, but, it's a team that's sitting last, right? It was team sitting last on the ladder. And to concede 60 points, right, it was probably not good enough. It was definitely not good enough. But Tahi Bro says consistent lineup to injuries peak the season, in my opinion. Yeah, and that definitely plays a part. I agree with you, Tahi Bro. We've had a few injuries this year. We've had players on the sideline, right? But, of course, last year when Webby was never using injuries and suspensions as an excuse, and I don't want to be that one to use it as an excuse this year. I know a lot of teams have got injuries as well. We're not the only ones, but it's definitely not helped. It's definitely not helped our case. We haven't really had a consistent spine on the field this year with our 1, 6, 7, and 9. We've had injuries to Egan, we've had injuries to Johnson, we've had, of course, we had Chance out as well. We had Tane at fullback. Man, we had some changes. We had some changes throughout the season, but inconsistent lineup. And Tarns is saying here, I'm trying to be optimistic, guys, but I'm feeling pretty deflated. I wasn't expecting much, but geez. Yeah, exactly right, Tarns. And going into that game, like I felt like we could win, right, against the Titans, but I really, if we did lose that game, I didn't really feel like a result like that was coming, a performance like that was coming, because I saw good signs against the Storm. We were good for first 20 minutes, and then, of course, we conceded 38 points, right? We conceded 38 points on the scoreline to end that game. And then, of course, against the Titans, we had the likes of Roger coming back. We're pretty close to our full shift lineup, right? And then, of course, the Titans, they just put on a clinic, right? And, you don't often expect a scoreline like that to happen. It was a record scoreline. And look, I just hope that game doesn't dent our confidence throughout the rest of the season. I hope that doesn't mean that our team has thrown in the towel and said, that's it, right? That's what I'm not hoping that's not the case. But you do think and feel like Webby and the players will have a response this week for this game against the Broncos, right? And look, the Broncos are not playing well at the moment. They're not. But they're going to be desperate as well. They will want to get a win under their belt because at the moment they are struggling. I think they're sitting just on the edge of the 8, right? So they're another team that you probably don't want to be playing this week, right? Considering we lost against the Titans on a record score, we don't want to be playing the Broncos. But look, the Broncos are a good team, great talented players, and it'll be interesting to see if those Origin players back up for them this week. But Mel's saying here, I agree with Webby. Why should we change CNK's position just to suit Roger? I know Artis has made his name playing fullback, but that position is taken. That's his spot. Yeah, and I don't think Chance has been playing bad at fullback. I don't think he has. I think he's doing the job there, and obviously he didn't have his best game last week against the Titans, but majority of the players didn't. The whole side didn't have a great game, right? You can't put the blame on one individual player. And I said that earlier in the stream. So, and you look at the fact is the defensive side of the game, it's down to the attitude and the mindset of the players, right? And that's what I think what Webby said at the start of the year when he was doing a interview on one of the podcasts, and someone asked, I think it was this Warriors Life podcast, and shout out to those guys, and they asked the question to Webby. What's the most important thing is their mindset and attitude, right? It's 100% their attitude. So we didn't see that attitude and mindset against the Titans. It looked like, when the way that the game started, right, it didn't look like the mindset was there. And Jose is saying, 66-6, the Devil had his fingers all over that game. Yeah, absolutely. And Tahi Brosing, fullback, is one of the hardest ranked positions in the game. I don't think it'd be good for RTS at this stage. Yeah, I don't think so too. I probably wouldn't go near putting him at fullback at this point of the season. Right, it'll feel like a desperate move from the team if we were to go and throw an RTS there now, when that would put a lot of pressure on RTS as well as a whole. So I would not be not thinking about moving him there, right? And Tarns is saying here we really miss Berry on the weekend. Yeah, and look, there's some people that aren't big fans of Berry, and there's still people that criticise Berry, and I don't understand it, right? Of course, I'm going to continue to defend Rocco Berry all my might, because I'm a massive fan of him. Always been a fan throughout the his junior years. And look, his defence is people talk about his defence. Some people question his defence. Some people say that he doesn't run a lot. That some people look at his stats too highly much and say that he's not that great. But I disagree. If you look at his defence this year, I think he's well up there on the 1-on-1 tackles as well. So I do agree with you there on that one, Tons. But it was a bit of a waste of 6 tackles playing these try telegraph bombs. Is Naz Williams. Hello to Naz Williams in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I do agree with you. Our kicking game is not good enough. I do say that. The kicking game on the weekend against the Titans was really disappointing, right? And the Titans, I think the Titans did superb, right, in the way they played us. And I'm sure a lot of Titans fans would have been surprised by the way they played against the Warriors, considering all things that the Warriors tend to be a team when at Seaver Stadium against the Titans always, play them off the paddock. So they probably would have been surprised with the way we played. But as a fan, just looking at it, man, look, I've got to say this is to all the fans: is hang in there, be positive. I know it's tough to be positive as a fan, but let's try and be positive and back the boys in this week, right? And forget about what happened last week, because obviously it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but we've got to try at least back this team in. Well, at least back them in, win, lose or draw, and give them that positive energy going into this week. And I'm hoping that the fans do that this week at home at Go Media Mount Stadium. They get up, get down there, cheer on the boys, give them the support that we need as we try and take down the Broncos, right? And try and get a win. More importantly, so. And look, don't worry about the ladder position. Don't forget about the ladder position. Don't worry about it. Let's not think about it at the moment. Let's just get a win, get some pride back in the jersey, and show everyone, why we called the Warriors, right? Why we called the Wars? Why this team's got potential. But Tahi Brosey, we can overrun our defensive assignments in that game. We'll hopefully improve that one this week, team. Yeah, absolutely. And Kia ora Phoenix, all good. Us, hope you're well. Yeah, I'm pretty good, Naz. Hope you're well too. Thursday, I think Jose is asking about the women's origin. Yeah, Thursday is the women's origin. But yeah, pre-game Fallon, how's it going? Pre-game Fallon's just asking my thoughts on the Broncos team. So just have a look at the Broncos team, guys. So I see that we got the team here, so we'll go through it. So Tristan Saylor's been named at fullback there. So we've got Jesse Arthur's on the wing, Tony Stagg centers, Selwyn Cobbo is back, Dean Mariner, Ezra Mann, Jock Madden, 5'8", and 5'8" is Ezra Mann and Jock Madden's halfback. Corey Jensen, prop, Billy Waters, hooker, Xavier Wilson, Brendan Piakura, second row with Jack Gillespie and Kobe Hetherington, with the bench of Tyson Smoothie, Fletcher Baker, Karapani, and Martin Tapau, and the reserves of Josh Rogers, Blake Moser, Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, Paddy Carrigan, Corey Oates. So the likes of Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, and Paddy Carrigan, all the Origin players being named to probably back up. I think the likes of Reece Walsh will play, so I can see him coming in to start at fullback. And I think the likes of Payne Haas and Paddy Carrigan will definitely play this game, because, look, the Broncos have to win this game, right? They need to win this game. They're going over to New Zealand. They've got to get a result. They're sitting on the edge of the 8, which I'm really surprised by. I can't believe they're sitting 9th around 8th at the moment on the ladder. So, look, I think the Broncos will play the Origin players come kickoff time, and I think they will be named to start come kickoff time. That all depends on injuries as well, and of course, that's if they are, fully fresh and ready to go. But I think they will make the trip to New Zealand. I think they will play in this game. And look, the Broncos need a full team, so they'll play them, right? They'll play them because this is a must-win game for them. If they lose this game, they could drop out of the 8 by the end of the weekend. So I think they'll play. It's a strong Broncos team. Look, it's a strong Broncos team. Their form's not been great the last couple of weeks, but they will be eager to get a win. And they know the Warriors, are coming off a confidence-zapping loss, right, against the Titans last week in a record score. So, don't write the Broncos off. I don't think you should be writing this Broncos team off this week. And, look, obviously we are coming off that result, and we want to get some sort of pride back in the jersey. So, yeah, it's a good Broncos team, right? It's a good Broncos team. I'm just a little bit surprised where they're sitting at the moment on the ladder. They're not seeing the world on fire. They're not playing exactly well, but this is probably a week where they do play well and put in a performance. We know that, as Warriors fans, we do expect a Broncos team that will come out firing and want to play well too. So, Greg, hello to Greg in the chat. I still believe in the Warriors. Keep the faith. Good to see you in the chat, Greg. And Tans is saying here, pre-game, it's the extended. I'm worried about. Yeah, absolutely. Tans, for sure. Like I do feel like the players in those reserves, but I do feel like they'll come in. Right, I think they'll come into the side. I can't see the likes of Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, and Paddy Carrigan not play this game. And they will have to because the Broncos need a full side, and they need to get some form back on their side on the ladder, to get back inside that top 8, right? So I think it'll be important for them moving forward. But yeah, we lost to the baby Broncos last year. Yeah, exactly right. So even if they don't play, you still can't write off the Broncos, right? You still can't write them off. In order to get a result, they'll still be very dangerous regardless if they don't play or not. But they'll want those players playing, right, for this one. And I think the looks of the Reece Walsh up against the Warriors back in New Zealand. He hasn't played the Warriors back in New Zealand yet, so that'll be really interesting if it does happen. And he'll be one having a big game. It just all depends on how these players react after Origin. If Queensland lose, those Broncos players want to come back and have a big one for their teams. And that's what will probably end up happening. But yeah, Jordan Ricky is a big out this week. He does all the hard work stuff for them. Yeah, he is out. Actually, just seen that he is out for the Broncos. It is a bit of a blow for them. He's been playing well for the Bronx this season. Yeah, I wonder why that's the case. Is he injured? I think. Oh no, he's suspended. Okay, he's suspended. So just reading the NRL website, and apparently he's suspended. Jack Goeski is the one that's coming in for him for this week's game. So hello to Ryan in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Ryan. And Tahi Bro saying they're another high-speed team, just like the Titans. Yeah, exactly. They do have some good outside backs. Their forward pack's pretty strong as well. Of course, it'll be made even stronger if the likes of Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas back up for them as well for this game. But you do expect that at least a couple of those players will back up. If not all of them, maybe at least one or two players on Saturday against the Titans. And yeah, Naz is saying smash Reece out of the game tomorrow night, so he misses the Wild's game. Good to see the best players on. Look, Naz, obviously as a Queensland fan, I don't want him smashed. But you're also hoping that look, I would like to personally see Reece play against us, but hopefully he doesn't have a good game against us. I like to see us play a full strength side. And William Pearson is saying Sharks. I don't know why he's saying Sharks. We can't afford to write off any team at the moment, not the way the season's going. You're absolutely right. That proves to be the case. Last weekend with the Tigers putting on a big scoreline against the Raiders at home. So what does that say about the season as a whole? It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Right now, the NRL, when you look at the ladder, the Warriors may look like they're out of the finals contention, but mathematically they're not. A couple of wins in a row and they're back in there, and that's how crazy the season has been going. So, that is why I'm just looking at it as like anyone's beatable at the end of the day. So, I'm not writing Brisbane off, and I don't plan on doing so. And I think it'll be a tough game for sure. It's how we respond, right? It's how the mindset of the players are after last week. Is there a fire in the belly in the training sessions, right? Is there the fire in the belly heading into the game? That is what I want to see. And hopefully we'll see that. And I think we will. I think we'll see the players' attitudes and mindsets be a lot different to what it was against the Titans. Sai has hello to Sai in the chat, says if the Warriors win this week shows that they don't need Shaun Johnson anymore. Look, I know there's some people out there at the moment, that don't want Shaun in the team. There's some people that want him in the team. There's some people that defend Shaun Johnson for all their might. But I feel like you can't just solely blame Shaun Johnson for the results. And I'm going to continue to say it. Like, I think people who think he's the reason for us losing all our games this season, I think they're completely wrong. And yes, he's not playing well, but he is not the reason why we're losing games, right? And you can't just blame him. I just think it's ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous that people blame him. I do feel like he's not the only one, right? He's not the only one. And hello to DIGGS96 says, happens to the best of us. All the fans we can do is move on and get a better result next time. Yeah, absolutely. And good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one. And I think us as fans, I think we need to lay off the personal comments made against the players. Yes, we can criticize them. There's nothing wrong criticizing a player's performance. I do that myself. I do that sometimes. But we don't want to be we don't want to get personal with comments, right, to players. I think it's ridiculous. I've seen people over the last couple of days on the Facebook groups, pages, get a little bit way too out of hand with comments against players. And you can criticize a player. I'm not saying you can't. I do it quite regularly. But you've got to be careful what you say. You don't want to. You can't take it too far. And that's just what I think. And look, I've said it many times this season. Shaun's not playing well, but he's had injuries as well, right? So he's not the only one. And Tarns is also saying you can't blame Shaun Johnson. Sure, he's not playing his best footy, but it's taken a whole team to win, a whole team to lose. Absolutely right, Tarns. You're absolutely spot on the money there. You're really spot on the money, and I love your insights, Tarns. And it was great to have you on the channel last week, and I'm sure I'll get you on the channel again. So you're absolutely right on that one. I don't think people understand when they make comments. They've got to be extra careful, right? They can't take it too far. Yes, criticize the player. Yes, give them the feedback. There's nothing wrong with giving a player criticism if they're not playing well, and that's fine. But when a player gets injured, I don't think we should all be saying nasty comments, right? I think that's completely utter wrong, in my opinion. But Jose is saying here, so you're saying there's a chance, so top 8 is achievable goal. Jose, look, I did say to you privately, I don't think we're a finals team right now, and I will stick by that comment. But look, if I come back on the stream in a couple weeks' time and we're sitting in the top 8 and I'm happy to be proven wrong, I'm happy to put my hand up and say yes. But look, right now I'm going to say no. Okay, like right now I'm going to say no. And I know it takes only a couple of wins to get into the top 8, but if you're based on performances, the last couple of weeks, we're probably not a top 8 side at the moment, and it's based on form and performance. But look, it can all change, right? It can all change. I can be realistic and honest as I can, and give you guys a bit of faith that we can make the 8. But it can be not out of the equation, right? But right now, looking at it, I don't think we are a finals team. We can still be a finals team, but it's at the moment not at the stage where I think we are right now. But it can all change. Ryan is saying here, if we win this week, it doesn't prove we're better. With Shaun Johnson, as it's not as simple as people. Yeah, exactly right, Ryan. That's spot on. That's a spot on comment. It's a great comment there by Ryan in the chat there. I think if we win this week, I don't think people should be making comments like, we're better off without Sean Johnson, right? If we lose this week, people will start, saying, oh, look, we missed Sean Johnson. So, people can have mixed opinions either way, right? We can have mixed opinions either way. But I don't think you can say that if we win this week, we're better off without Sean Johnson. I know we won our we went 4 in a row without Sean Johnson. We went 3 in a row without Sean Johnson. But that's not the point, right? That's not the reason why we won 3 in a row, not just because Sean Johnson was out. And I think I think you're absolutely spot on. Naz is saying here, I think they've been riding the hype train for a bit too long. Maybe they need to get back to last year's mindset. They were lost. Lots more hungry, or next minute the crowd numbers may start dropping. Yeah, Naz, I think that's the case where we may have gotten a little bit too much into the hype, right? It's good to have a lot of media hype on the Warriors. There's a lot of movement around up the wires. Last year, of course, it became a popular saying throughout the Warriors fandom. And of course, look, maybe we have gotten a little bit too much into the hype this season as a whole. Maybe as fans, we got a bit too excited. It's easy to get excited because we had a great year last year. We made the top 4, right, for the first time in a long time, and that's probably that's why we got so excited this year. We had a look at our squad. We thought we were capable of being a top 4 side again, or at least the finals team, or at least challenge for the premiership. Of course, we went all out for the likes of RTS. We got Capewell. But yeah, look, I mean, I think this year, if we can I feel like if we do still make the finals from here on, it'll be a huge, huge surprise, right? And that's me being brutally honest. But look, I think maybe next year, if you look at it, I think maybe next year is probably more of a chance of being a top 4 side again. But that's the way I look at it at the moment. So, and Jose is just saying here, verdict is still out on Sean Johnson for me. It hasn't been the sole reason for being losing, but he hasn't helped us either since the Rabbit exam. He can still make a positive difference, I think, in 2024. Yeah, Jose, I do agree with you. I do feel like he hasn't made that difference, right, in terms of his impact. Obviously, we have had some changes right to our spine. We've had Johnson there, Tamari there. I do feel like going back on the start of the season, once Metcalf got injured, personally, I think that is where it went downhill for us, right? Once Metcalf got injured, I know Tamari played well against Souths, but once Metcalf got injured, I felt like that was a massive blow, right? Metcalf brings a totally different dynamic to the team in our attack. I think he brings a bit of a better, running sort of game as well. So I know some people question the likes of Metcalf in his defensive side of the game, but I think he brings a lot more in terms of his attack. So I think we do miss Metcalf. I'm not going to lie. I feel like we do miss Lukey Metcalf. And I don't know what the situation was with his injury at the moment, but it doesn't look likely that he'll be back next year. Doesn't look like he'll be back to the end, for the end of the season. So he may be back. He'll probably be back next year. I don't see him playing again this year, unfortunately. But yeah, and Tans is absolutely saying 100, Ryan. Yeah, absolutely. And just on Sean Johnson again here, and people assume lose with Sean Johnson without it must be his fault when it's more complex than that. Yeah, absolutely, it is more complex than that. And we look at a player, we want to put we always look at a player, we want to blame a player, right, individually for our results. That's us as Warriors fans. A lot of Warriors fans and like to look at it and say, he's the reason why we lost all these games, and that's completely wrong. This is a team sport, right? It's team sports. It's a team sport, and there are other players that aren't playing well, and we'll blame Sean Johnson. I just think it's pretty wrong in my opinion, and I'm not defending him. I'm not saying he's playing well. Look, some people might come here and say, "Why are you defending him when we've lost a few games with him at halfback this year?" Well, I'm not defending him. I'm just personally saying that you can't put the blame solely on him, and I do admit to saying that he hasn't played well this year, but he's also not the sole reason, right, for a lot of the results. It's a team game, guys. It's a team game. So I just don't get it. I just don't get why people need to put individual blame on one player. And that's not what I'll be doing. I'm just looking at it as a whole, as a team. Tahi Bro saying it honestly comes down to our defense, and our attack is looking okay. Yeah. And look, our attack wasn't great at the start of the season, and I was pretty critical of our attack. We struggled for points, and it looked all too predictable. And it was predictable, right? The things we did. But it has improved over time. But we want to see our defense, right? And that's important. We want to see a defense that's shown last season. We want to see that back. We want to see it back over the next couple of weeks. And we want to try and make sure we avoid bottom four. We don't want to be finishing bottom four after, making the 8 last year. So, and the ladder's close, so anyone can finish in the bottom four, finish in the top 8. That's how the ladder's going right now, right? So, hopefully we can see that improved performance against the Bronx on Saturday down there at Go Media Mount Smith Stadium, and sold out. So hopefully those fans can still get on down there and support the boys, because they need the support, right? Look, the performances weren't great, but we need to continue to support them and show that positive energy. And that's more important. That's try and lift this team, right? Give them a lift. Naz is just saying that Sean Johnson's not 100% fit. He's still struggling. Yeah, and that's the case. That is the case. He's picked up an Achilles injury. He's had a few injuries this year, and don't know whether we have taken the risk, man, really playing over the last couple of weeks, and it probably shows now we have. I don't know why we've come to a decision to rush him back into the side the last couple of weeks, but we got Tamari there, you got CHT there. They can do the job, right? We've got to put faith in those two to do the job and get the results, and get the wins on the board and get performances on the field. But yeah, I just somehow think that we, obviously need to make sure we keep loyal to this team. Naz is saying, not the next year line again. I'm not going to go there, guys. I'm not going to go there with this is our year next year or sort of thing. But, we make the joke about it every single season as a Warriors fan, we do. But Tarns is saying, sorry guys for being negative. Was expecting a huge couple of changes to the certain positions. No, that's all good, Tarns. I'm probably the same thing. I thought there'd be a lot more changes. I had a long thought about it, throughout the stream. And look, I was probably surprised that we didn't make more changes, to be honest. Of course, as fans, we want to see. We look at the result on the weekend, we go, right, time for some wholesale changes, but that's never going to be the case, right? It's Webby, right? He doesn't make any changes. He's so loyal to the players that he picks. Look, obviously, with Sean being out, of course, I was expecting Tamari Martin and CHC to be back in the halves there. But, of course, I'd love to see the likes of, Tane get another opportunity. Man, I really am a big fan of Tane to a picking. Massive fan of him. I would love to see him in the side, somewhere in the side altogether. But obviously, finding a spot for him is pretty hard. Like, who are you gonna drop out? Like, you've got Montoya there. Do you put CXC in to another position? I don't think so. You've got to stay with him at fullback. But of course, you got Roger there at centre there, which honestly, for me, probably the only change I'd probably move Artius onto the wing. But look, that's the team we've lined up with this week. There probably could be some late changes as well come kickoff time. There probably might be some changes. With Webby that he doesn't often stick with the same lineup come kickoff time. So maybe a possibility that we see Dylan Walker back at the lock position. Look, Dylan Walker in the second row against the Titans last week did not work. It was the wrong move from Webby, right? So there is a critique I'll make of Webby's selection last week was picking Dylan Walker in that second row. And I think Tohu Harris, look, to be quite honest, I think Tohu Harris needs to be on the bench. And that's no disrespect to Tohu at the moment, but I think we need to go in a bit of a different direction with Harris. I think Walker's better suited to the lock, but that could be a bit of a late change come kickoff time. And I see people criticising Jazz Savanga from last week's game, and I think they're completely wrong. I don't think people should be blaming Jazz Savanga. I think Jazz had actually a very I think he had a decent game still, in my opinion. I don't know why he copped a bit of criticism last week. Man, it was tough for him coming off the bench and you look at the scoreline and trying to make a bit of an impact. But I don't think people should be blaming the likes of Jazz. I think Jazz didn't do too badly, in my opinion. And Tahi Bros is on the attack. Adam, halfback needs to enter the line and handle incoming traffic due to injuries. They haven't been able to do the required reps to make it stick, but it comes down to defense. Yeah, you're spot on. Yes, they're spot on for sure. And that's important because generalising, bro. Not all fans are blaming Sean Johnson. Says Richard. Well, yeah, look, majority in some of the Facebook groups, which I won't mention the names, but look, I just don't get it. I think we should all be just getting behind the players and supporting them. Look, we can criticise them and say they're playing poorly, but we shouldn't be going too far with some of the comments. And I think it's not needed. But Jose is saying all good, saying I'm the same. Seems Webby's adamant on keeping players in this position. Just hope it works this week. Yeah. And maybe he just doesn't want to, throw in some of these younger players into the first grade side with so much pressure, right? Because teams under so much pressure to bounce back and get it and put on a bit of pride in the jersey. So, look, there's no doubt about it. I'd love to see some of the likes of the younger players come in, likes of Tane, Moala Graham Talfa, Jacob Laban, likes of those players. I'd love to see them get their opportunities, but you can't. Well, I don't think Webby would probably do that, right? It's just he doesn't generally make these changes. Ryan's saying he tomorrow has looked a lot better. The games that Sean Johnson has missed, yeah, he definitely has been a lot better and he's a lot improved for sure. But obviously last week against the Titans, he and Sean Johnson, probably they couldn't really click there. But Ryan is also saying there's a lot of good short backup fullbacks with Tua Picky, Jai Gray, Trey Fuller, and Keno Kenny. Yeah, absolutely, there are a lot of great young fullbacks in the game at the moment. And they're not, they're not your big size players, right? You've got Jai Gray, Trey Fuller, Keno Kenny. They're very little size players, but man, they're elusive and fast, right? They're quick. They've got lots of skills, and of course, I'm a big fan of Tane, right? Big fan of Tane. I watched him through the Burleigh Bears and the Q Cup here, and he's a great talent, right? We've seen what he can do when he's been playing for the first grade. So we saw what he can do for the New South Wales Cup team. He has been on fire in the New South Wales Cup. He's been playing well there. He goal kicks as well. So he's played a bit of halves. He's played fullback. So Tane's there if you need him, right? If you need a call on a player, you've got Tane to a picky, and he can do the job. So yeah, and all of them could be starters. You're absolutely right, Ryan. And I think that would be the toughest thing for a player like that, to be sitting in reserve grade in the New South Wales Cup and applying a trade in the New South Wales Cup. But Jose is saying here, Walker's far better at lock with Tohu coming off the bench. It works so much better. Exactly right, Jose. Exactly right. And anyone who thinks that putting Tohu to the bench is disrespectful, I don't agree with it. It's not disrespectful, right? It's giving players in form who played in that position an opportunity, and Dylan Walker's been doing it. So this is why I don't understand why they picked Dylan Walker second row last week, right? It wasn't a great move to put him there. So yeah, it's media feeding the Sean Johnson narrative. Yeah, it is. It is, definitely is. It is. And now that people think that because we lose, it's all Sean Johnson's fault, right? A couple of years ago, it was the exact same reaction, right? When we lose results, people blame the halfback. The halfback always gets the blame, right? And no one else. But yeah, Walker's far better at lock. He definitely is. He's far better at lock. He's either better in the lock position or better off the bench. And I don't think you can change. You can't put him anywhere else, right? And you'd hope that Webby doesn't do that again, in my opinion. But yeah, Jazz is a heart to re-sign him, Warriors. Yeah, and look, Jazz is a very nice bloke. I've met Jazz quite a few times, and he's a very nice bloke, right? And look, I got to meet him after the game. Got a photo with him again. He asked me how my page is going, my Warriors page on Instagram. He's very friendly. He's a nice bloke, and he puts a lot into the jersey, and that's what I love about Jez Tavanga. Some people are pretty critical of Tavanga, but man, he's a player that plays with heart and energy, right? He's a non-nonsense type player, and I'm sure he would be the same feeling as to how annoyed he would be about that result in the weekend. But yeah, and plus gives Togo the opportunity to work hard and faster with a shorter shift. Yeah, absolutely it does. It definitely does. You look at it, you give him less minutes. It gives him more fresh and ready in the back end of the half as well. And I think that worked in the previous couple of weeks, but we've gone back to playing him back in the 13 again. So I think it's just what's best for the team. You've got to do what's best for the team, right? That's the thing. You've got to do what's right for the team as a whole and how they play. But Richard's saying maybe where we tried Walker, they're hoping it'll work. It obviously didn't. Yeah, look, it didn't really, didn't it? But Tahi Bros says pump the likes. Absolutely. Like the live stream, everyone. If you haven't done so already, if you're a new viewer and you're watching this live stream right now, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just click that subscribe button. It's absolutely free as well. It helps the channel and the content. Make sure you share the live stream, share the video, share, like, comment, and subscribe for all your weekly Warriors content as well. And go and give a follow to all the Warriors content creators as well. So, Unique, hello to Unique in the chat saying, even Webby playing Walker last week, that leaked a couple of tries, very questionable when we had Capewell and CH2. Yeah, look, CH2 obviously not getting enough minutes. I just don't understand that at the moment. You've got to maybe at least give him a few more minutes on the field. But obviously now he's starting this week, so he's been named to play, and he's playing. He gets another opportunity with Tamari Martin this weekend, with Tamari back at the 7 jersey. So it'll be interesting to see how that combination goes this week against the Broncos on Saturday. But obviously, as a fan, I'm a big fan of CHT as well, so I'd like to see more of CHT on the field. But yeah, so that's just my general thoughts on the team, guys. So we'll go through and give my thoughts on the State of Origin game coming up, with Game 2 coming up. So if you got any predictions or thoughts, feel free to put them into the live chat, and then I'll go through my NRL tips for this week's round of footy as well. But if you've got any more comments you'd like to share in regards to the Warriors, feel free to do so in the chat. I will read them out and give my thoughts. But we'll start off with Origin now. So State of Origin. Actually, we'll have a look at the men's game, and we'll have a look at the women's game as well coming up this week. So game number 1, game number 2 of State of Origin series on Wednesday night, tomorrow night on Channel 9 here in Australia. So that'll be Sky Sports in New Zealand. At the MCG, apparently sold out 100,000 that MCG stadium capacity is. So I think apparently it is a sold out game, and it is at Melbourne as well. So this is on neutral territory. So New South Wales Blues and Queensland Maroons. Now the Queensland Maroons are paying $2 at Sportsbet, and the New South Wales Blues are paying $1.84. Now, this game, man, it's going to be a real good game. There's so many changes to both sides. We look at the Maroons, right? Of course, with Reece Walsh back at fullback. So we'll read the Maroons team. For those of you wondering, I am a Queensland fan. I'm the Maroons through and through. So feel free to share who you're tipping in the comments and who you're going for. But this game should be a cracker. It should be a cracker down there at the MCG in Melbourne. Obviously, the Blues need to win this game to keep the series alive. And the Queensland Maroons win this game, they could clinch the series at 2-0 going into the third game at Suncorp Stadium. So obviously, as a Blues fan, you'll be hoping that this is a game you win to get the series to a decide at Suncorp Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. For the Maroons, they'll be hoping to clinch it and not having to worry about Game 3. But look at the Maroons team. So fullback is Reece Walsh, Xavier Coates on the wing, Valentine Holmes centres, Murray Talangi on the wing, Tom Dearden 5'8" for shape, David Cherry Evans, DCE at halfback, Ruben Cotter prop, Ben Hunt hooker, Lindsay Collins, Jaden Sewer Second row with Jeremiah Nanai and Patrick Carrigan Lock, Harry Grant, 14, Whitey Fodawaker, and Felice Kafusi and Kirk Capewell on the 17 there. And then, of course, the reserves of Dane Gagai, Hylam Luking, and Trent Liero. So that's the Queensland Maroons team. So just pop into the chat. Hello to Jazz. Kia ora, Jazz. Hope you're doing well. And Jazz is saying, hit the likes for the bro. Absolutely. Smash the thumbs up, guys. Like the live stream if you haven't done so already. And yeah, if you are a new viewer watching these live streams, videos, please give the channel a subscribe. Subscribing to the channel, it's absolutely free, guys. Just giving you a note. And it all does help the channel to grow. It's absolutely free, guys. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And Unique is saying up the Blues. And Ryan's saying here, I am not a fan of either sides, but hope New South Wales win to make game 3 more fun. And Jose saying sup to Jazz. And Richard's saying here, go Blues. I don't even care, but I just want a few sore Broncos after it. So, yeah, so that's the Maroons team. Look, great Maroons team. I really like our team. Look, no shock at the moment with the players we've not lined up there. Good to see Reece Walsh back. Of course, there's a lot of comments around Reece Walsh and a bit of it, back and forth between the coaches and the camps and the media in regards to, Reece being targeted in game 1. So it'll be interesting to see how he responds from that game 1, being targeted, obviously being smashed in the tackles. And, I think he'll be in for a big game. Especially at fullback there for the Maroons. But look at the New South Wales Blues team. So you've got Cameron Murray, Connor Watson, Dylan Walker, and Latrell Mitchell all back into the New South Wales selection as well. So fullback is Dylan Edwards. He's back at fullback. And you've got Brian Toto on the wing. Latrell Mitchell's back for the New South Wales Blues. In the centres with Stephen Crichton with Zach Lomax on the wing. Jerome Luai, 5'8", and Mitchell Moses has been named at halfback, taking over from Nico Hines, who was dropped. Jake Travojevic, captain prop. Reece Robson, hooker. Payne Haas prop. Liam Martin in the second row with Angus Crichton and Cameron Murray's lock. So their bench is Connor Watson, Isaiah Yeo, Hamola Olakwatu, and Spencer Lenu. And Mitchell Barnett has been named 18th man with Cameron McInnes and Luke Carey rounding out the reserves for the side. So the referee for this one is Ashley Klein for this game. And hello to Jaden in the chat there. It says, true, bro, perfect chat for after dinner session. I'm thinking Latrell Mitchell is going to be the X factor needed for a win in game 2. Yeah, and I definitely have to agree with you this one, that Latrell Mitchell is probably the main X factor in terms of the Blues and them looking to get up. And look for a fired up Latrell Mitchell as well, because he is back in to the side. And obviously it makes their centre pairing a lot stronger with him and Crichton. Mitchell Moses and Jerome Luai, how that goes as a combination will be really interesting. Obviously, these two have not played as a combination too often. So I think you'd expect maybe the likes of a Moses to have more of a dominant kicking game and Luai to play his role as well for the Blues. But I think for the New South Wales, just looking at it, you got their 4-pack there with Payne Haas, Martin, Crichton, Murray. So it's a strong 4-pack, right? The only thing I do have a question mark is on Reece Robson and how he's going to go. Like, I think the first game he wasn't quite at his best for the Blues. But, of course, he's not the only one that wasn't great. Connor Watson as well coming off the bench. How many minutes he gets in that 14 role? Does he come on, play a bit of hooker for Reece Robson? We might see a bit of him in the first half, a bit in the second half. Probably might not see Reece Robson play a full game as well. Of course, you've got the likes of Isaiah Olakwatu and Spencer Lenu as well. Spencer Lenu, I thought, was great in game 1 for the Blues as well there. And look, I think the key for the New South Wales Blues is going to be how their halves go. I think it'll be how the likes of Moses and Luai combined. I think that'll be important for them if they had to, go over and get the result against the Maroons down there in Melbourne. As for the Maroons, it's pretty much Sherry Evans and Dearden, who I thought were great in game 1, and how the likes of the Reuben Cotters, Lindsay Collins, Jaden Sewers, Of course, Paddy Carrigan as well, and their bench as well. The Maroons bench is pretty strong with Fotuaika, Kafusi, and Capewell and Grant as well. So, yeah, just looking at it as a whole. Look, personally for me, if I'm going to predict the scoreline for this one, just look at the head-to-head. Actually, just quickly, played 130 times. The Maroons have won 70, and the Blues have won 58 with 2 draws. Head-to-head since the Origins began, right? So that's the head-to-head stats. And look, I am going to back the Maroons in, guys. I'm going to back the Maroons into in this game, but I feel pretty nervous about this one. I don't feel as confident as I was in game one. I think this game will be quite close, and I'm going to go with the Maroons win by 6 points. But I would not be surprised if the New South Wales Blues win, right? I would not be surprised. This is a game where they will be desperate. They need to win this game more than ever to keep the series alive. So I would not be surprised if New South Wales won. I'm confident we can win, but I'm also a little bit nervous as well because this is probably the best New South Wales team they've named from game one. I think this team's a lot stronger, and I think it'll be a lot more threatening. And Maguire will have another game up his belt to have them prepared as well for this game. But yeah, Jose is just saying here it'll be interesting to see how Madge handles game 2. It'll be a Kiwi versus Australia 32-0 type win again, or will the Blues fall and crumble? Very interesting. Yeah, it will be. And Jazz is saying, come on, Blues, get those 2-headed cane toads. And a lot of big names, so definitely worth a watch. And Ryan's saying here, I think Moses kicking him is much better than Hines. It definitely is, Ryan. I can't disagree with you there. And I know Moses has his critics, but look, I'm not one of them. I know he has his critics purely on his field, his moaning on the field with the refs, but, I think he's a great player and a very talented player. So, look, I don't dislike Moses. I don't dislike him at all. But he's playing for New South Wales, so stuff him this week. Right, stuff him. But, it was unlucky for the game one missing players all the way through. Yeah, and that played a part too, Tahi, bro. I absolutely agree. It played a part for the New South Wales Blues because, look, even Billy Slater admitted after the game, post-game, that the Maroons weren't great. They weren't at their best. And, look, the only reason why they got the win was, of course, the players played well. But, the one-man advantage definitely helped as well. So, let's be quite frank, and be quite honest here. As much as I feel about the Maroons winning, the one player advantage played a big part in that game. And Jazz is saying unlucky for Hines, but he's not the man for the job anyways. Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not. And Hines is a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not an Origin player at the moment. He's not right now. As long as there's no send-offs, the Blues will rip it. Yeah, I mean, look, hopefully this game, there is no send-off and controversial decisions. I just want a good game, a competitive game, and a close one. And I don't want to see a referee decision decide a game. But, look, despite me not wanting that, that was the correct decision, right? It was a correct decision, whether you think it's not or not. But for me, prediction-wise for this game, I'm going to go Queensland Maroons, guys. So I've said it. I'm going to say Maroons by 4. Look, Queensland Maroons to win this game. And look, I think if you look at a try scorer for this one, I do feel like the Blues will score the first try of this game. I'm going to go, I'm going to say probably, I think Latrell will probably go over. I'm going to say Latrell. I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell, first try scorer. And anytime try scorer, we'll say probably Val Holmes. And we'll go with the Hammer. The Hammer was outstanding in game 1 of the series. So I think he will go for another try. And I think Reece Walsh will look for a big game as well after being knocked out in that first game of the series. So I'll go Reece Walsh first of any time. Hammer any time. First try will go Latrell. And for any time for New South Wales, we'll go with the likes of Crichton and maybe a Moses as well, I think, for me. So, yeah, Queensland Maroons to win this one, go by 4 points. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the New South Wales Blues win. I hope they don't, but I think the Queensland Maroons can just edge it and go 2-0 up and wrap up the series. And, Billy Slater gets another series win under his belt. So that's the Origin done and dusted for the men. We'll definitely have a look at the women. I know the women's Origin as well. Just give a bit of a prediction for that one. That game is on the Thursday, I think it is. So give me a few secs, guys. Make sure you like the live stream if you haven't done so already. If you are a new viewer and you haven't done so already, please give this live stream a like and also subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so. Right, so the Women's Origin. Okay, so we've had 2 games of the Women's Origin series so far. And man, oh boy, I absolutely enjoyed it, man. They've been 2 great games. And it's good to see that this is going to a 3-game series. Obviously, the Maroons lost the first game 22-12. And then they won the second game down there in Newcastle 11-10 in a pretty low-scoring game. And now we're on to the 3rd game. So this 3rd game is on Thursday night. So it's the night after the men's Origin. Now this one is actually a series decider. So it's 1-1. Who wins this game wins the series, of course. And it's not decided on a points aggregate like last year's series where it was only 2 games. So it's great to see that. But this game's been played in Townsville, right? So Queensland Country Bank Stadium on Thursday, the 27th of June. So yeah, looking at this game, the Women's Origin, I think it's been pretty good series so far. And Jose is saying here Queensland to win 66-6. So I think that'd be lovely, Jose. I really hope so. But probably not likely. Yeah, the women's game is this week, Richard. It is. Watch the young ones, man. That was so cool. Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. It's great to watch the under 17s Origin as well. This one actually, look, I think this will be a great game between the Queensland Maroons and New South Wales Blues and the Women's Origin on Thursday night. I'm actually very excited about this one, and I will be watching this one live. First try scorer for this game, we'll probably say. I think the New South Wales Blues may score the first try like the men. I'm going to go with. Who do I pick? Just looking at the back line, I reckon it'll be Emma Torigato, the fullback for the Blues, and anytime we'll say Shanine Sosolka, and we'll go with I'm going to go with Tiana Petatani for the Blues. So that's my try scorers, right? First try scorer and anytime try scorer, and I'm going to go with a Maroons win here. Maroons win in the Women's Origin. So the Maroons do the double over the Blues this week in the Origins. So we'll go Maroons in the Women's Origin, and I think they'll win by probably 4 points at least. So I'll go with 4 points for both the men and the women to get up in both games. But yeah, looking forward to it. I think the Women's Origin is on Sky Sports in New Zealand. I think from my memory, but it's on Channel 9 here in Australia. So you can watch the Women's Origin over in New Zealand as well. So that's the Origin chat done and dusted and out of the way, guys. So now we got some footy, NRL footy to actually go through. So there are some games this weekend, round 17. So we'll go through my tips for the game. So if you guys feel free to put in your tips for this week's NRL games in the comments section, in the live comment section there. And Jazz is just saying you're looking forward to the Women's Origin as well. Yeah, can't go with the and also Jose is saying here, I like your picks for the Women's Origin, Christian. 100% Naz. Yep. So yeah, feel free to put in your tips in the chat, guys. Make sure you like the live stream, please, guys, if you haven't done so already. Looking forward to the Women's Origin and the NRLW as well. Looking forward to that, and I think it starts in a couple of months' time, so should be good. But also looking forward to seeing the Warriors feature in the NRLW in 2025, which I will be covering a lot of the Warriors women's team on this channel next season. So stay tuned for that. The women's game will be getting more coverage from me from next season when the Warriors get in the comp. So yeah, Friday night, the 28th of June, sees the Bulldogs. 28th of June sees the Bulldogs taking on the Sharks. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs currently sit 6th on the ladder with the Cronulla Sharks sitting 3rd. This game is played at a core stadium in Sydney. Okay, so this one's on Channel 9, Foxtel, and KO in Australia, Sky Sports in New Zealand. So the Bulldogs are paying $2.39 at Sportsbet in Australia, and the Sharks are paying $1.58. So looking at the team list for this one, so we'll go through the team list to see if there are any changes. So for the Bulldogs, I see that Blake Taaffe has been named to take over at fullback for this game, and from Connor Tracy, and because Connor Tracy's out due to concussion protocols, and also Bronson Cherry's back on deck with Drew Hutchinson makes way. Stephen Crichton has been named in the reserve, so Stephen Crichton may back up from Origin Game 2 for this game. So we'll expect a lot of these Origin players to be named in the reserves and maybe back up this week for their respective teams. Craig Fitzgibbon has stuck with the same 17, so he's gone with the same 1-17 this week. That went down to the Dolphins in Cronulla last week. So, this game, quite interesting, because I think the Bulldogs last week, weren't at their best. Of course, the Sharks are coming off that loss to the Dolphins at home. It wasn't a great performance by the Sharks, to be quite frank. Difficult game to tip, to be honest. Really tough game to tip. I'm going to go Sharks. I think Sharks for me. Sharks by probably 10 points at least. I think the Sharks will get the win. Yeah, and Jerry is back in. Yeah, I'll go Sharks by 10. And Ryan's saying I think the Sharks should be close, and then he's gone by 2. But yeah, Sharks for me. First try scorer, I'm going to say... we'll go with Sione Katoa first try. Anytime we'll go with Ronaldo Mulitalo and probably Bronson Jerry for the Dogs. But I'm going to go Sharks for me by 10, at least 10 points to get the win over the Bulldogs. The next game, so the Warriors game, we'll do a separate preview video for that one. The next game, we'll see the Knights and the Parramatta Eels. And looking at this game, very interesting. The Eels have obviously got Mitchell Moses playing Origin, and he's been named to back up. Sivo is back from hamstring injury, right? And Sean Russell is in the centres with Dejan Archie in the 18th man. And Kalima Talangi's been suspended for this game. There are no other changes. As for the Knights, Will Price will make his NRL debut, so that's a huge that's a new inclusion to the Knights. And Will Price is making his debut at the 5'8" spot, which is really interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Kai Pearce-Paul returns from injury off the bench, and Jack Harrington makes way. Look, for me, I'm gonna go with the. I'm going to go with the Paramount. Actually, I'm going to go with the Knights here. Newcastle Knights for me, guys. Newcastle Knights to win. Yeah, I'll go with the Knights by 12 points at least. And first try scorer. I'm just going to have a look at the team list, guys. Give me a sec. First try scorer. Who do we go with? So the betting has the Eels at $1.96, and the Knights are at $1.88 there. And Ryan is saying here, I'm on the Eels. Teams who drop to the spoon spot tend to respond well, and Jazz is going with the Knights. And I'm just looking at the Knights team list. So first try scorer, we'll say we'll go Greg Marju first try. Anytime we'll go with I'm going to go with Sivo anytime. So Knights to win for me, and I think they'll win by 12 points at least over the Parramatta Eels. So the final game to wrap up Saturday footy sees the Melbourne Storm taking on the Canberra Raiders. Now, this game has been played at Amy Park in Melbourne, and the Storm do have the likes of Xavier Coates and Harry Grant named to back up 3 days after Origin 2, and Jake Horwath moves from the wing to centre. No Nick Meaney. Nick Meaney is out. Well, that's a bit of a blow there for the Storm. Bronson Garlick goes to the bench, and Christian Walsh. And Remus Smith has been named 18th man there for the Storm. And Falungo is in the reserves. For the Raiders, Tom Starling is back from concussion, and Zach Walford makes way. And Jack Martin, another debutant off in the second game. Well, second debutant of the weekend. He makes his NRL debut off the bench with Kotrick out, and Albert Kelly taking a spot. So for this one, I'm going to go Storm quite comfortably for me. I just don't trust the Raiders. You know, the Raiders are a team that one week they could surprise anyone and get a win. The next week they are very disappointing. So I don't know with the Raiders. It's hard to get a read on them, honestly. But look, I'll go with the Storm. Storm at home. Storm should win well. I'm going to go Melbourne by 16 points. But look, wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders tuned up and put on a performance. But I think the Storm should win, in my opinion. And Richard's saying here that the Knights knocked out Para further down. And Ryan's saying here that I think this game will be a high scoring. Yeah, it'll be high scoring. I think the Storm will win it and win it well, in my opinion. And now to the final game now. So one more game to wrap up Sunday. So there's not many games this week, obviously with the Origin period. So as it's no shock there, but the Dragons are taking on the Dolphins. Now this game is, I think it's at Wollongong. Yeah, I think it's in Wollongong. It's a home game for the Dragons, guys. So Raiders overachieved this year. Yeah, they have. Who knows what to expect for the Raiders here. But look, for this game, Dragons and Dolphins probably don't really need to say too much about this one. I reckon the Dolphins will get the win here. Dolphins, man, look, continue to be one of those teams that surprise. I know last week they went down to the Storm, but I think they will bounce back. So I'm going to go with the Finns here. Fins up. I'm going to go with the Dolphins to get the result and get the win over the Dragons. I'm going to go Dolphins by 8 points at least. I think it'll be close. Dolphins to get the win for me in a close one over the Dragons. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. That's my tips. I've chatted about the State of Origin, give you guys my predictions and thoughts of the State of Origin. Chat a bit about the Warriors as well and the Wars and what's been happening. Talked about the team list, gave my reaction thoughts. But yeah, I will do a separate preview video tomorrow on the channel, giving my predictions for the Warriors-Broncos game and going through the game and key players and stats and all sorts of stuff for that one ahead. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for watching, everyone. I just got to say, hang in there, Warriors fans. It's been a tough week, of course. It's been a tough week, but we've got to remain positive, remain upbeat. It's not been a season we expected so far this year for us, but hopefully the boys can get up and get the result on the weekend over the Broncos, and put some pride back in the jersey, and that'll be awesome as well if they can do that too. And yeah, so Jose is saying here, Dragons were the best team after Origin 1. I'll tip the Dragons. Yeah, it's fair enough. And Rich is saying Finns. And Tahi Bro says, good show, Christian. Appreciate all the support, everyone. Guys, please give this live stream a like if you haven't done so already. Hit that thumbs up button. Click that thumbs up button, right? Make sure you like the live stream. Like the video back if you haven't done so already and you're watching it back. And thanks for the stream, says Ryan. Have a good night all. Thanks for watching, Ryan. Always appreciate your support in the chat. And Jose is saying, got to get out on it. Get out there and hug a Warriors fan, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give all the support you need for all the Warriors supporters out there. All the content creators deserve all the support, guys. We're going through a rough patch this week with the result, but hang in there, guys. Be positive. Remain upbeat because, this week is a new week and we got the Broncos on Saturday. We'll be hoping to see a bit of a result from the boys. Just a win will do. Just a performance will do. It's all that we'll love to see. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in, everyone. Thanks to Jazz. Thanks to Richard. Thanks to Jose, who's been modding the chat. Thanks to Jazz. Thanks to Mel. Everyone in this chat, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are watching it back, like the live stream, like the video, subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribing is absolutely free, everyone. It shows your support for the content. It doesn't cost anything at all, guys. And it's it really does help the channel and the channel to grow. But that's it. Have a good one, everyone. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good rest of your evening. Still up the wires. Go the Warriors. Win, lose or draw. We're still here. We're still fans. We watch this team. We ride the roller coaster every week. And that roller coaster will never stop. It will never stop. We're just passionate fans, of this team, and we love watching them play, regardless. So have a good one, everyone. Up the wires, go the Warriors, and we will see you guys all in the next live stream or the next video. Cheers. Like, comment, and subscribe. Up the wires. Have a good one.